What's up, Facebook Live? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me make sure this is working. I think it is. But as you're tuning in, I'd love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know three things you're grateful for out there in Facebook world today or this evening, afternoon, depending. Oh, there we are. It's working. Loud and clear. Very cool. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Love to know where you're tuning in from. Love to know three things you're grateful for. The reason I always ask that is to reinforce the must hunt in the world around you and find what's good with your life. As a matter of fact, let me throw a second question out there. What are three great things that happened in your world since we hung out last? That's another way to do it. So Mike, nice to see you. Welcome, sir. Taras from London, welcome. Kenny from London, welcome. Is it really late there or early? I think it's late. Anyways, welcome, welcome, welcome. As you're tuning in, love to know either number one, where you're tuning in from, and number two, three things you're grateful for, or I'd love to know three things great that have happened in your life or business since we last hung out here on Facebook Live. Mike from Glendora, nice to see you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between having a plan and having a idea or a concept of what you're trying to achieve. And it's interesting. There's some distinctions here. I was just reading a great book that was talking about the difference between these two, and I was thinking about it going, wow. As a matter of fact, when you talk to most people about their goals or their vision or their dreams, a lot of people have a concept or an idea or a dream of what they want to achieve. They don't really have a plan. Or their plan consists of really amazing, huge hockey stick shaped graphs of how they're going to magically quadruple everything they're doing that fast. And having never done it before. So it's interesting. We're going to dive into this and have a little conversation. Sandy, nice to see you. Welcome. For those of you just tuning in, I'd love to know, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, I'd love to know three things that you're grateful for. The other thing I'd love to know is if you tune in regularly, like I know some of you do, I'd love to know three great things that happened in your life or business since we last hung out on here. Kenny, grateful for my self-awareness, potential, and future. Been making progress with my business today. Congratulations. What kind of business? Hold on, I like this feature. It's fun. I can show your comments up on the screen. See, Kenny is grateful. Very cool, very cool. And so here's where we can have a starting point. I'd love to know, let's start in your personal life. In your personal life, do you have a plan of where you want to specifically get to and exactly what you're going to do every day and every week to get there? Or in your personal life, do you have kind of a vision or a dream or a goal where you know where you want to get and there's, kind of some things that you think will work and you're kind of working on it? Like, do you have a literally laser specific plan, or do you have kind of a vague area you're trying to get to and you're just kind of hoping it works out? So I'd love to know, number one, in your personal life, which do you have? And if you want to be specific, let's talk about your health first. So in your health and fitness, number one, do you have a vision of where you're headed? Number two, do you have a laser specific plan of exactly how you're going to get there? Meaning every Monday, here's what you're going to do. You're going to eat these meals. You're going to do this workout. You're going to do these things with your body. And it's exactly how you're going to get there. So I'd love to know for you watching. Now, what's interesting, for those who participate today, we're going to give away an awesome book. Let's see, which ones do I have a bunch of? I'm going to give away one of these, The Road Less Stupid by Keith J. Cunningham, advice from the chairman of the board. It's a fabulous book, how to grow your business, how to organize your plans and visions, but also how to really make sure you have a very specific, actionable set of things you can do to make sure your business grows. So for those of you in the business side, we'll give that away. For those of you in the personal side who are not interested in business, I'll give away a signed copy, other side, of my book, Live It, which is right there. So personal or professional, depending on which one you want at the end. But I'll pick someone who participates the whole time and sign one for you and send it out. So let's see, Kenny. So do I have to answer the health one? But no, you can wait for the business side. But for those on the personal side, I'd love to know specifically in your health, do you have a crystal clear goal or outcome you want to achieve in your health? And do you have a laser specific plan of exactly what you're going to do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get there? Second, emotionally, do you have a clear result you want to experience emotionally? And kidding. And do you have a very, very specific plan of exactly what you want to do in order to get there? Meaning, how do you want to feel, let's say 3 months from now? How do you want to wake up feeling every day? Okay, based on specifically how you want to feel, not what you want less of, but what do you want more of? Do you want more joy, more humor, more fun, more excitement, more passion, more purpose? What else would you want more of emotionally in your life? And whatever it is that you'd want more of emotionally in your life, big question. Do you have a very specific daily set of actions you do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to allow you to experience and grow the muscle of those types of emotions? Meaning, what do you do every day to experience more of them? How about, 6 months from now, where do you want to end up in your relationship? How do you want to be? And do you have a very specific plan of action? So the thought process is repetitive, but let's jump over to your business. This is where it becomes fun for some of you. Honestly, lately I've been having bursts of plan, action, and cheating on my plan. Okay. What are you cheating on your plan with? This is always interesting. It's a very interesting concept because most people do this. They get all excited. They write down what they want. Now, here's what's interesting. They write down the idea of what they want. They don't write down the plan because the plan and the idea are very different. The idea is where you want to land up, the outcome, the result, the destination. The plan is the journey you're going to go on. And so it's wild. There's a lot of people write down the destination of where they want to be, and then they fail to nail down a very specific plan. The plan is wake up and work hard. The plan is go to the gym 3 days a week, and that'll handle it. No, walking into the front door of the gym 3 days a week will not handle it. And then most people get to the gym, and like you said, they cheat on their plan because they go there, they spend half the time Instagramming, they spend the other half of the time kind of moseying around, figuring out what to do, waiting for the next machine. And the concept is they don't have a clear, specific, actionable, measurable plan that says, hey, I'm going to go there. I'm going to be there for 25 minutes. In that 25 minutes, here's the exact exercise I'm going to do. Here's exactly how many reps of each I'm going to do. Here's exactly how much time in between I'm going to waste or wait before the next set. And here's exactly how I'm going to get it done every day of the week. So that's what people are lacking. Now, if we take that over to business, same thing. If you want to grow, let's see, that is regarding health. I've been starting back doing what worked before when I was in shape. Smart, very smart. And so now if we switch over to business, the concept of looking at your business, big question. What's the end result you'd like to achieve? Let's see, Sandy, I've been taking small to medium action each day in my business. Very nice. So here's the question. In your business, second, going back to the same process, do you have an idea, meaning the result of how you want to magically land up somewhere, or do you have a plan? Do you have a very clear plan of action of exactly what you're doing? And if you do the math, it adds up. If you want 100 or 90 clients in the next 90 days, you got to get one a day on average, or you somehow need to figure out what are the metrics and numbers. Now, based on that, you got to figure out what actually gets a result. A lot of times when we're training brand new coaches in Performance Coach University, this is kind of an interesting learning process for them, because what happens is in the beginning, people say, well, how hard could it be? I'm going to open up my business and, I'm going to sign up 10 clients, let's say $1,000 a month. So it's 10,000 a month. Boom, I'll be good to go. Now, what happens is that's the idea of what they're hoping for. So we say, great, what's your plan? And they go, well, that's the plan. I'm going to open up the business, put up the website. I'm going to let people know. And then I'm going to sign up 10 clients, make $10,000 a month, and I'll be good to go. And we stop and we bring them back and go, wait a minute. That's the idea of what you want. What's the plan specifically of how you're going to get there? And now we got to work backwards. Mike says, I'm lacking the plan of action. I need to work on that. Absolutely. So now we have to figure out, what does it take to actually get one client? This is hard. You got to figure it out. What does it take to actually get a client? How much marketing does it take to get in front of someone? How much, what kind of presentation is necessary in order to get that someone to then move forward? What's the thing that they want? Cold calling is my problem. That's part of the process of getting in front of people. You got to call them. And Mike, there's two sides of that. There's cold calling or outbounding. There's also the ability to create warm leads where I believe in, I think it's Joe Polish that has the term ELF marketing. Easy, lucrative, and fun. Setting up the right systems where you have warm leads coming in constantly. And this is the only reason we started a coach training program, is because I have 20 spots and I currently have 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So I have 20 spots open and 23 clients. So I'm 3 spots oversold in coaching right now. And so this kept happening in my personal business. So we decided to open a training program to train people so that when it happens, we could pass leads to them. Now they're learning the process. It's not perfect. They're still learning. And in the process, though, we know how to create warm leads. We know how to send them to people, and they're practicing their conversion, how well they can speak to that person and cause them to want to become a client. And that's kind of a next step. Look, Kenny, I finally do now have been hemming and hawing until this digital market agency. It has taken me learning the tools to get my clients. It has taken me longer than expected to get the other side of my BS, but I've been on a roll. Very cool. So this is part of the lesson. Kenny, that's a normal story for most people. If you asked how long I wanted it to take to be able to make $100,000 a month, I would have said years ago. But it took a while. It took a while to get to those numbers because I didn't know what it really took. And this is the first lesson when planning, is the very first thing you're going to learn. When you say you want to get to X result, you want to get here, and you're here, most people, here's the truth, we have no clue how long this actually takes. If you're going to drive from Los Angeles to San Francisco, nowadays, we can Google it, bring it up in your map, and it'll tell you roughly how long it's supposed to take. If you want to go from 0 to $100,000 in business revenue, there's no Google map to type that into. There's nothing you can type it into and it goes, that should take you approximately 3.5 days. Nothing that says that. So you got to kind of go, that's interesting. Usually the best place you can learn is finding someone else who's done it and figuring out what did they do and how long roughly did it take them to get there. Now, based on that, you can say, okay, well, based on this plan of action, here's exactly what they did. And here's exactly how long it took them to get there. Okay, that's one piece of evidence. Now, if you can find 40 people who use this exact plan and got this exact result, that's some good evidence. That's the real deal. It's consistent. One after the next, after the next, we're all doing it. So one thing you might want to do if you want to speed yourself up, find multiple people who are something that's considered to be a subject matter expert. Now, we live in a strange day and age where all these people are training people to become experts at shit they've never done before. So an easy way to decipher is you want to know 2 things. Number 1, have they done it at least 3 times? Have they done it at least 3 times successfully? That means they've done it, they've started over, they've done it, they've started over, they've done it. Okay, 3 times. And are they able to articulate the plan very clearly and easily to understand? This is important because there's some people who are phenomenal at sales. Like, they are a boss. You put them in front of a client and they will sell it. They're amazing. But then you ask these people to articulate the process they use to do it. And they go, well, shit, I don't know. You just show up and do your thing. You just sell them. And you kind of scratch your head and go, okay, well, that didn't help. I'm going to need more than that. I'm going to need to know more details, not too many, but enough that I understand what to do and how to do it. So this is important. They must be able to articulate exactly what they've done and how they've done it. Number two, they have to have done it more than once. There's a lot of one-hit wonders who go and do something once and then all of a sudden call themselves an expert and go teach on it. And that concept, you want to see them do it over and over and over again. We have a friend, her name is Siri Lindley. She's a 12-time world champion. 12. I trust her to train me how to be a world champion. Why? She's done it 12 times. It's not a fluke. She knows what she's doing. And so that's something to consider, is watching the track record and making sure they've done it consistently. There's a track record there. It's not a one-off. Now, this is tricky for new people coming into an industry because they don't have a track record. They're doing it for the first time. I think one of the best pieces of advice I ever received when starting a new career path or business is go take the first 5, 10, 15, 20 clients and do it for free and say, hey, here's normally the amount I'd like to charge for this. But because I'm new, here's my proposition. I'm willing to do it for free if in the end you're willing to write an honest endorsement of what you thought. And if it was crap, just write crap and hand it to me and I'll take it. If it was wonderful, write exactly what made it amazing to you and who you think it could benefit, so I can show this to them and say, hey, we've done this. We've gotten this result for this person. Now what's interesting, I remember when my dad gave me that advice, I sat down and thought about it and went, wow, that's interesting. And he was talking about public speaking. And it was very fascinating. I was like, okay, well, shit, who would I want to go do a workshop for or speak for? So I came up with a handful of companies and people to go speak with. And I went out there and I offered them a complimentary workshop. I said, normally, here's how much I would charge for it. But since I'm just starting, I'd love to know if I can do it for free in return for a written testimonial or endorsement of your honest feedback of what you experienced here, so I can share it with other people and hopefully get booked. And what happened is I did, free speech after free speech. Eventually I learned on my own it was going to take a long time to get the amount of practice I wanted. So I landed up working for Dad, and in 2 years did over 800 presentations in offices. So 800 free speeches to get the practice under my belt and to practice building connections with people, building credibility, understanding the process, understanding what can go right and wrong and everything else. And eventually got to a point where I asked some of those people, hey, could you write a little note of what you thought? And then I used that when I first started on my own to say, hey, I've done 800 presentations. Here's what people think of having me in to come and deliver X. And what's fun, it's a blessing over the years, through practice and practice and practice and practice and all that time, eventually, I remember, getting to a place where I was able to charge. I think my first speech was for the Learning Annex. I made, a few $100. And then my first paid speaking engagement was really exciting. A friend of mine hired me, and it was $1,200. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I can make $1,200 to speak for an hour, I'm going to be rich. It took a while. And after a while, it built and built and built. And I remember charging $5,000 for a speech. Be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, wow, that's incredible. That's like a month's worth of work at the time. And eventually got to 10,000 and then 20,000 and then 40,000 and then 60. And it keeps going. And it's one of those things where it's like, wow. And what happened, though, is if you would have asked me in the beginning, what was the goal, the outcome, the dream, the idea? I said, well, hey, I'd love to be able to deliver a ridiculous amount of value for someone and so much value that they would pay me a large amount of money that I could use to have a great life and then take and go do good things in the community and world around me. I said, that would be the goal. How much? Just ridiculous amounts. I would have never said $200. That was not the dream while starting. But that's where you start, because $200 leads to $500 and $500 leads to $1,000. $1,000 leads to $10,000, and it keeps going incrementally. Now, what's interesting is, how do you create demand? This is fascinating on the growth side, and it goes back to the planning side, which is fascinating. I know there's a lot of people who teach people who get into this space, charge astronomically high prices to start with, because that is truly where you get the best clients and the people who will truly respect you. And I scratch my head and I look at someone like Eric Thomas. If you know who he is, Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, is very cool, from Detroit, good friend of ours. And when he started, he found a price that was doable to get his foot in the door. And so he started many, many years ago, and he found a price somewhere around like $500 a speech to go to give a speech to like a high school or, a class. And he did it. And then he figured out, man, I can do a tour. I can go from like New York all the way to Florida, and every single day be in a different city with a different school, giving a different speech. And it's like, bam, 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 bam. And he's like, if we add it up, that's a lot. I mean, do $500 times 20. That's a good income for most people. And so he was hustling and going school to school, 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 school. And I asked him, I said, hey man, I know that just based on hearing you speak, you've charged $100,000 for one speech for an hour. I was like, wow, that's a lot. How'd you do that? And I remember thinking about it and thinking, how the heck did he do it? And what was really wild was he said it was supply and demand. So what do you mean? He said, I remember I was on a tour and I was going from New York, I think it was Philly, all the way down to Florida, or New York to Florida. And he was doing speech after speech after speech after speech. And what happened was he was booked almost every day of the week. And he got a phone call from California that said, hey, we'd like you to come out next week to speak at our assembly, our school. And we're willing to pay your fee. We'll pay the flights. We know it's last minute, but we need you here. And he said, I'm so sorry. I'm booked. And they said, well, what do you want? We'll pay you more. We just need you out here. And he says, listen, I can't do it. I'm literally booked right now for another place. He says, how about this? If you can make it work, we'll pay you for that one, and we'll pay you for this one, and we'll pay the flights and everything else. And so he literally sat down and he went in. First, he said something, great distinction. He talked about this in an interview we did with him 2-3 months ago. He said distinction. First, he went to the person who had already hired him out of respect and said, hey, this is up to you. I'm not going to try to finagle something and double up here. He said, it's up to you. I've been offered an opportunity that would be important to me and my family to be able to pay our bills and have a life. I've been offered an opportunity to go and speak at this other school. It's the day before I'm going to be speaking with your school. And what they're going to need me to do is fly all the way out, do the speech, fly all the way back at night, and then be up first thing in the morning to deliver the speech here. I believe I can do it, but I want to know if you're okay with that, since you're the one who hired us first. The person said, no problem. I said, great, let's do it. And at that point, let's say he was charging $500 a speech. These guys paid him $1,000 to fly across the country, speak for an hour, and fly all the way back. And he was like, whoa, that's interesting. Now, the beautiful part was the ability for him to grow based on demand. Now, this is not what a lot of people are doing who try to get into this speaking space. They're being taught by the quote unquote experts to jack up to astronomically high prices to start with, because then people will respect them more. My 2 cents, if you want to grow naturally. Do the work. Because when you look back and you can say, wow, I remember what it was like to get paid $100 to go speak somewhere, $500, $1,000, and it builds up over time. Eventually it gives you the internal credibility. I'm not talking about what other people think. I'm talking about what you know about yourself. You know you built something from scratch and you know what it takes. Same thing in coaching. Our new coaches, I'm a huge fan. You're welcome to charge whatever you want when you graduate from PCU, Performance Coach University. But I would recommend doing the same process. Take the first couple clients, coach them purely for a testimonial, deliver ridiculous results over a couple months. Once you have those testimonials, use them, come back, set a solid price to start with, build from there, and do it based on results. I remember what I used to do is every 5 clients, I would inch up the price incrementally, little by little, and until I find a place where there was a drop off and people just wouldn't sign up anymore. It was too high for where I was and what I could deliver. And so that process of growing into the space you want to be is very helpful. Now, going back to where we started, this would be part of the plan. It would be saying, hey, how many calls am I going to make every single day in order to connect with the amount of people I need to connect with, to then get how many people out of all the calls I make, how many will end up in an actual conversation? Out of those conversations, how many will be willing to go through a presentation or a sample session? From there, how many can I convert into clients? Now, the specifics here is where you actually get a plan together of how to grow your business if you're in a coaching, speaking, training, this kind of business. Now going back to even before that, where we started is it's the exact same process if you want to transform your health. And I'll show you. My wife found this little workout plan that I've been doing for a while now, and it's very specific. It says, hey, what day is it? And based on the day, it tells you exactly what to do. If you look there, Monday's leg day, and it says do 5 sets of 15 of leg extensions. Superset number 1, superset number 2, do 5 sets or 5 times 20 shoulder width leg press. Then you switch 5 times 15 of switch jump lunges, times 10 of each leg walking lunges. Superset it twice. And so the concept, it's very specific on exactly what you're going to do to get the results you want. Now, there's a few questions in here that I found very useful when it comes to thinking about your plan. Number 1, are you currently executing on an idea or a plan? If it's an idea, what does the plan need to look like to actually get the result you want? Number 2, where have you let your ideas become a substitute for a quarterly and annually plan of what you want to achieve? Number 3, since a plan is always executable, do I know which actions to perform next week, next month, next quarter to move the needle towards the outcome I desire? Let's see, number 5, where are my current results deviating from my plan, and what is the critical driver performance metrics that must be monitored in light of this variance? So if you have something that's going off track, AKA, who was it? Kenny was struggling with the gym, I think, cheating on his plan. So the concept, if you have something that's going off track, what's the KPI? What's the key performance indicator you have to start measuring, that by measuring it daily and tracking it, it'll cause you to get right back on track because you're paying attention to it. You're tracking it daily. What would you have to start tracking that'll help you pay attention enough to actually get you back on track with your plan? Let's see. Good question. Were there some faulty assumptions in my current plan? If so, where? Here's a great one. Was I overly optimistic about the time frames I believed it would take to execute my plan? If so, when and where? Here's a big one. Has the environment changed or their lead? Where and what needs to be done about it? It's a great question. Sometimes the environment changes and you need a whole different plan. I'll give you one for coaches. Most people don't think of this, but what happens when there's an artificial intelligence bot that can monitor your client's blood pressure, heart rate, hormones, chemicals in their brain and body, and as they're delivering coaching, it can be adjusting what type of coaching to deliver based on how well the client is receiving the information. And if they're blocking it or stressing out or freaking out emotionally or chemically in their body, they can adjust what they're saying to make sure it lands and the client actually gets it. What happens to the physical coaches and human coaches then? My thought, the bot's better than us. We better have another plan for business. So sometimes the concept of the environment changes. You know, it's a pretty interesting concept. Now, here's another one. Was the original plan a good one and the problem a lack of execution? If so, what part was I lacking in and where do I need to improve? Here's one. Where's the gap between my plan and our results? A reflection of mediocre team, weak players, or not showing up? Let's see. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Maybe the training is good. Maybe the plan is awesome, but maybe it's no one that's the fact that no one is measuring the critical drivers or taking the initiative or action to correct the key indicators of if we're going to be on track or not. It's really great questions in this chapter. I'm a huge fan of them, and it's just the concept of really making sure, number one, you have an idea or an outcome of where you want to get to. Number two, you have a very clear plan of what it takes to get there. And number three, you're taking time to think through the process and constantly update your plan, as well as how you're measuring your key performance indicators to know if you're on track or off track. So, with health in the gym, what would be key performance indicators? How fast you can move your body past that mile, how much weight you can lift. If you're trying to bench 225 10 times or 20 times, if you can do it or not. Get under the bar, find out. It's a key performance indicator. How flexible you are, if you can touch your toes or not, that concept. These are things you can measure specifically to know if you're getting better or worse in the process. Same thing in your business, same thing in your finances. Let's see, a couple questions. Kenny, what app or program? The workout one? That little sheet. So this one, I think, is what you're talking about. This is just something my wife found online somewhere and gave to me. And this one's more about toning than it is building. Specifically, when I wanted to bulk up, I'll show you a before and after picture. When I wanted to bulk up, so this is a before and after of 90 days. When I wanted to do that, it's a little blurry, but when I wanted to do that, I hired a gentleman named Doug Zimmerman. I think it's bodybydouglas.com. And he wrote out a very, very specific meal plan and workout plan. He told me what time, what food, and how much to eat every couple hours of the day, 7 days a week. And then he showed me exactly what time to work out, what activities to do, and how long each should take. Specifically, like go lift this weight, do this many reps in this many minutes. That way there's so much repetition, or there's so much movement, there's so much kind of waiting in between of a space of refueling, and there's so much burst again. So he was very, very specific on the exact plan to get that result. It was about eating the right thing at the right time. It was about doing the right exercises at the right time in the right order. All those things add up to specific results. And so that's the point of this conversation, is making sure if whatever it is you're after, you have a very specific plan that tells you what to do, when to do it, how often, and how many to get the exact result you want. Let's see. I have a few minutes left, so I will open it up. Any other questions? Doesn't have to do with today's topic. I'd be happy to answer them for you quickly. And then I'm going to go have dinner with my wife and relax. But let's see if there's any questions. Let's see. I don't see any questions coming in. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this conversation useful, either a great reminder to get specific on your plan and go back and make sure you have key performance indicators measured out, or you found it useful for the first time to hear, feel free to hit the share button, help us reach more people here online. I will make it my outcome to be back on here live tomorrow, somewhere around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And where are places to get speaking gigs? Depends on the topic. How to best introduce a new concept. Sandy, what do you mean by new concept? Like a new concept into your health and fitness, your love life, your business? What kind of concept are you introducing, and what type of concept? Let's see, Tim, best place to get speaking gigs? So it depends on the topic you're talking about. I'm guessing you would talk about business growth or management, just based on experience. But depending on the topic, everywhere. if you were going to talk to, I'm just trying to think, like we have a handful of speeches that we're just booking right now. One we're really excited about. It's for the airmen at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi, I think it's called. And so we're going out and doing a high performance training for them on how to optimize their mind and body. And we're excited about that. Let's see. Entrepreneurship, persistence, and not giving up. Cool. So with 3 different concepts there. For entrepreneurship, I would nail down where do entrepreneurs meet up? Are they part of the EO group? Are they part of an after school program for youth? Are they part of a local university who's studying entrepreneurship, and you can share with them things that have worked and what you've learned along the process of starting and building your own businesses? Is there a small business meetup? Is there a small business seminar or event going on in your community? Are there people who want to learn about small business that you can share with? The best place, if you want to gather them, create a group on Facebook about small business entrepreneurship. Invite some friends to it, and every single day for the next 90 days, jump on and do a free 15 to 30 minute little segment like this, talking about a specific tip for entrepreneurship and small business around the topics of entrepreneurship, persistence, not giving up, and record 90 of them in 90 days. Take those, splat them on YouTube, splat and tag them properly so they get picked up for people looking for that kind of concept. Tag them and share them all over Facebook. And what will happen if you do 90 trainings in 90 days like that, you'll have a treasure chest of really good information. And it'll be floating around places where people have small businesses, they have groups, they're a part of something, and they'll be like, hey, this guy's got something good. He should come out and talk to us next Thursday at our whatever group where we talk about this stuff. He'd be a great one to have out. And so 90 in 90 days would be great to kind of build the basis for that concept. I've been doing that with social media marketing for car dealers. Exactly. So Kenny, exactly. If you were just starting, you had zero context at a car dealership, do 90 trainings in 90 days, hashtag all of them, the concept of, marketing in a car dealership, growing your business, selling more cars, tips on, and you have to figure out what all the tags are that are really popular. Splash them on YouTube, splash them on here, share them like crazy. If you want to get specific, start running Facebook ads targeted at people in sales, in car sales. So car sales, figure out what other common threads or tags they would have. Car sales in your city, Mercedes, like name the dealerships. And what happens is it gets so specific that there might only be 2, 3, 4, 500 car salesmen in your city, or there might only be 50 dealerships. The other thing you can do, create a specific channel that has 90 different trainings on it of all different topics, package it up, make it look really cool, brand it nicely, and then literally create a little package where you send it to the car dealership and you take it in there and say, hey, I've over the last 90 days, I put together 90 different 15-minute trainings, all on things that can absolutely grow your business here. I just wanted to bring over this little gift. It's a couple of Starbucks gift cards and some donuts or whatever the heck they would want, and say, here you go. Here's this gift for you. And if anyone on your marketing team or your executive team would like to check it out, feel free to check out all the videos. If you'd like a live training or some consulting services for me to help you do this, just let me know. And anyways, great to meet you guys. I'm going to go next door and say hi to them as well. And what will happen is if you go do that to every car dealership in your town, eventually they're going to go online, watch the trainings, go, wow, crap, this is great stuff, and reach right back out to you. If they don't, then you're going to learn a lesson. There's probably something that needs to be updated in your pitch. And really simply, it's usually not making the product better. Think about it. If you were going to go to dinner somewhere and it was a special night, you're celebrating a special day or special opportunity, where do you think of going to dinner? Like somewhere really special, the nice place in town. Now, how many of you are thinking McDonald's? Mostly nobody. But why is it that McDonald's wipes the floor business-wise with all the other restaurants? Because their customer is very, very, very clear on exactly what they're going to get. They're confident and have total certainty. When I go here, I get X in X amount of time. They know that. There's no risk. There's no challenge. You know exactly where you're going to get and how much time and exactly how it's going to show up. And so if for some reason you do the 90 videos in 90 days and you go out there and it doesn't work, you got to step back and ask the question, what is it that they really want? What is it that they want? How do they want it? And how quickly do they want it? And did I demonstrate that clearly in what I was sharing with them? If you're able to do it, if the answer is yes, they would have moved forward. If they did not move forward, the answer is no. You did not give them 100% certainty. What I mean is, if you wanted to make more money and I said, give me $10 and I'll give you $1,000 cash right now, it's a good deal. If you have total certainty that I will deliver. Same thing in business. If you say, hey, hire me to do the consulting and I will get you X. If they have total certainty you will deliver, it's a great deal. I have people hit me up all the time online. I want to grow your business. I want to get you more clients. I say, great, do it. I'll give you a percentage of whatever you make. And then that's not how I work, and they disappear. I'm still waiting. Someone can deliver. I'll pay you more than you expect. But that concept of deliver. And if you've done it for 25 other dealerships, show them. Here's my track record to give you total certainty that I deliver. If you haven't, do it for 2 or 3 of them for free, build the track record, take it to the neighbor and go, hey, here's what I did for those guys. Do you want some help? And boom, now you have the credibility. Let's see. Chelsea, great Facebook Lives are great seats. Thanks. I love the idea of putting them on YouTube. Yeah, it helps. Splash them on as many platforms as you can get and get them to spread out around the world. Cool. I think that's all the questions. Oh, wait a second. Going back. How do you introduce a new idea, a new business idea like Airbnb? Ooh, good question, Sandy. So for that, here's what's fascinating. It's answering a problem that exists in the market, a pain that exists in the market. The challenge, a lot of advice, and I'm a huge champion of the advice, is doing what you love, being passionate about what you do, taking the Venn diagram of what are you really good at, what do you love to do, and what is the world willing to pay for? And the concept of those the 3 intersections in the middle is all of a sudden the sweet spot of a great business idea. I love to do it, I'm great at it, and the world's willing to pay for it. Now, what's interesting, if you leave out the third circle, so it says, I love it and I'm great at it, so I'm going to make a business out of it. No one buys stuff because you love it. I hate to say it, they don't. I love funny jokes. People do not buy funny jokes from me. I wish they did. I'd have a lot more fun. But that concept of people don't buy something because you love it and you're passionate about it. They buy it because it solves a problem for them in their life. It helps them achieve something they want. And so often right now in history, a lot of people are going after moonshots or big ideas of things they're passionate about and excited about. People don't buy your passion. They enjoy your passion. They buy something that meets the need they need fulfilled. They buy something that helps, solve the problem they have. So if you want to figure out how to bring something to market, the starting point would be make sure it answers a problem. And the example is, if we were in the desert and you have not had a drink of water for 30 days and you saw me walking by with 5 gallons of water on a cart and it's nice and cool, you'd go bananas. You'd fight the water out of my hand. Like, I'm so thirsty, give it to me. Like, you don't care about the price. You don't care what's going on. You want the dang water. So the same thing. What's the problem and how do you bring about the solution that people would literally fight it out of your hands? And at that point, marketing takes care of itself because they see it, they go, I need that, and they come running for it versus you trying to chase them down being like, hey, I got something you need. And they're like, I don't know, prove it. That concept. So that's the place to start. Now, the plan of how to go to market, I'm probably not a good subject matter expert on that. A couple people who'd be great to pay attention to who've done it multiple times over. Pay attention to someone like a Gary Vaynerchuk, Joe Polish. Pay attention to maybe Elon Musk. On a big level, he's brought stuff to market multiple times. Read the case studies of how he's gone about bringing something to market. But I would look for case studies of people who've done it over and over and over again and figure out what were some of the tactical strategies they've done. Also, you could read Tucker Max's book. He's an interesting guy about creating shock marketing. He wanted to take a book and make it popular. So he created this really crazy book. And then in order to make it popular, he paid people to stage a fake protest and act like it was real, that they were protesting. Why would you let this man speak at our school? He's horrible. He's a sexist. He's ridiculous. Make him go away. So he got the news there saying, local school hired speaker that's being protested by this woman's group. And he caused this huge hoopla. The funny part is he paid and created the whole hoopla. He designed the whole thing start to finish. So he's someone that takes something to market with shock and awe factor, and he purposely designs marketing campaigns to deliver the biggest effect to cause people to react to it, which causes people to pay attention to it, which causes books to sell in his case. So he'd be someone that's worth checking into. Let's see. Okay, hi from London. I'm an emerging business marketing strategist, a pre-startup for vegan business owners. So you do marketing for vegan businesses. Is that correct? How to earn money and confidence in my situation. So if I understand, you do marketing for vegan business owners. Now, do they sell vegan food, or are they just vegan personally? Like they don't eat meat and they have a shoe business or cell phone company. Like what? I need more specifics on that. It's an interesting question, though. Sandy says, thank you. Great advice, Jairek. Oh, thanks, Sandy. I like showcasing my thank yous. Let's see. I don't see any comments coming through. How about this? Oh, here we go. Yes, correct. Vegan products. I'm also planning to interview amazing vegan business brands and owners of podcast YouTube. Okay, so you're doing marketing for them. What I would do is you start off, I would do it two ways. If you missed the part earlier, number one, take on a couple of those clients for free to start with. If you don't have any clients yet, take on a couple for free. Create the most badass marketing plan they've ever experienced it, and then work with them on it and fine-tune it to absolutely deliver ridiculous results, meaning 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x their business by working with them. And then ask them, here's what I would normally charge. If I'm willing to do this with you for free, can you write me a fair, accurate, and true testimonial or endorsement after getting the results that I can then share to use with all the others I want to do this for? Now, go do that first. Get them to, or if you really need the cash, maybe say, hey, here's what I would normally charge. Can I do it for half if you're willing to give me a really solid endorsement, true experience of working with me after the fact that I can use to then, go talk to other businesses who are also selling vegan products. You want to build your own real, true credibility, but delivering actual results for them. The interview of amazing vegan business owners. So I'd also go back to what I said earlier, do the 90 videos over 90 days. Jump on here just like this and do little quick 15-minute videos, specifically 90 days, give 90 very specific tips of exactly what they can do to grow their business and better their marketing. So 90 videos, 90 days, create 90 of them, take them, download them, put them on YouTube, tag them properly. Vegan business consultant, vegan business success, growing your vegan business. Let's change the world, vegan business owners. Like, I don't know what you title them, but come up with 90 of them, create a whole page that says how to grow your vegan business in 90 days. Take all the videos, 15 minutes a day, take it to them and say, hey, I brought you this gift. Go through my free 90 days of training. It's on YouTube. I don't even want your freaking email address. Go through it for free. Check it out. If it changes your life and business and you want to work with me, call me. Kenny, will this be posted on your page so I can go back and reference? Yes. So this will stay on my Facebook page. You might have to scroll. Eventually, I think my team takes them down and moves them to YouTube as well, where you can search them. I don't know what I'll title this one, though. Probably plan versus idea. Hopefully that helps. Okay, I got to go. It's dinner time. I will be back on tomorrow around 2, 3 in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time, PST. And I will see you all then. Have a great evening. Thank you. If you thought this was useful, please click the share button. Let's see. Now to write the proposal of what I want from them and can offer them, and we talk about it. Cool. So welcome. Okay, see you all tomorrow.